A company made $440 million vanish in less time than it takes to eat lunch. And here is the part nobody tells you. Not one line of that code was technically wrong. The software did exactly what it was written to do. It just woke up in the wrong room, on the wrong morning, holding a loaded gun nobody remembered leaving in the building. This is the story of Knight Capital, and why I think the headline is a lie. Picture the firm in the summer of 2012. Knight is one of the biggest names in American trading. A huge slice of the stock market flows through their machines every single day. They are about to switch on a new feature, so they prepare a software update for a system called SMARS, the engine that breaks big orders into small ones and sends them to the market. The plan is simple. Copy the new code onto the trading servers. There are 8 of them. A technician copies it to 7. One server, for reasons that were never fully pinned down, does not get the new code. No alarm rings, nothing turns red. 7 servers are ready, one is wearing yesterday's clothes, and from the outside they look identical. Now here is the detail that makes engineers wince. The new code reused an old switch, a flag that years earlier had controlled a piece of test software called PowerPeg. PowerPeg was old, roughly from 2003. It was never meant to trade real money. It existed to buy high and sell low on purpose, to stress test other systems, and it had been quietly retired for the better part of a decade. The widely reported account is that this dead code was never deleted. It was just switched off and left in the dark, gathering dust. So when the market opened on the 1st of August, the flag flipped on across all 8 servers. On the 7 updated machines, it meant the new intended thing. On the 8th, the one wearing yesterday's clothes, it meant something else entirely. It reached down into that decade-old grave and woke PowerPeg up. And PowerPeg did exactly what it was built to do. Buy high, sell low, again and again. There was supposed to be a part of the system that said, "The order is done, you can stop now." Reports say that confirmation had been broken in an earlier cleanup years before, so the old code never heard the word stop. It just kept firing orders into the market, millions of them, thousands every second, a machine gun with no trigger and no off button anyone could find fast enough. For about 45 minutes, Knight bought high and sold low across more than 100 stocks, millions of executions in a blur, bleeding money on every single trade. Imagine watching the number climb and knowing the off switch is somewhere in code nobody has touched in 7 years. By the time they pulled the plug, the loss was around $440 to $460 million, depending on how you count it. The firm that had survived crashes and recessions was nearly bankrupt by lunchtime. It was rescued, absorbed into a competitor, and folded into a new company. The regulators later fined them. The Knight name effectively disappeared. So the world filed it under. A bug cost $440 million. But I want to push back on that. There was no clever bug, no genius mistake hidden in some impossible line of math. The code did what it always did. The disaster was not in the code at all. It was in the deployment. A flag reused instead of retired, a copy done by hand, with no second pair of eyes, no automatic check that all 8 servers actually matched, and dead code left in the building, loaded for years, on the assumption that nobody would ever flip the wrong switch. If this feels familiar, it should. We told the Ariane 5 story, where reused dead code from an older rocket tore a brand new one apart. We told the Therac story, where the villain was never one programmer's genius, but a process that assumed everything would go right. Same shape every time. The villain is almost never the line of code. It is the absence of a process that assumes humans will make the obvious mistake. Because they will. Eventually, someone always copies the update to 7 servers and forgets the 8th. So before you ship anything tonight, do the boring thing they didn't. Count your servers. Make sure every single one got the update, not most of them. Delete the dead code instead of just switching it off. And if this story made the checklist feel a little less boring, deploy a like to this video and subscribe to the channel so the next cautionary tale lands safely on your feed. 8 servers out of 8. Don't miss one.